What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today I want to discuss another two-card combo that is going to be available in Standard in the not-too-distant future that I think is going to be pretty darn explosive. And it is keyed around the card Fight Rigging. So if you're not familiar with Fight Rigging, it is an enchantment for 2 and a green with Hideaway 5, meaning that when this enters the battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of your library. You pick any one of them and tuck it away under Fight Rigging face down. Your opponent does not get to see what that is, and when a certain condition is met, you get to cast or play that spell from exile. And let's see what that condition is. In Fight Rigging, it says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. The idea behind this card is you start out with, you drop a 2-drop that's like a 3-power, 2-power, 3-power creature. You put a +1/+1 counter on it. All of a sudden, you're looking at a 3 or 4-power creature. In a couple of turns, you keep buffing it up. You get to cast a thing. That's great. However, New Capenna comes with a host of creatures that are incredibly fat for their stats, or for their casting costs, I should say. Their stats are out of this world, and one that fits beautifully on the curve alongside Fight Rigging is Reservoir Kraken. So the way that the combo works, you play Fight Rigging on 3, you steal your biggest, bombiest bomb out of the top 5 cards that you've got. That could be a Titan of Industry, that could be an Explosive Singularity, that could be Coma, that could be, you name it, a good 7-drop or 8-drop spell. Even if you want to get saucy, you could have a Shadow of Mortality under there, just because that card is very difficult to cast. There are a lot of very powerful options that you can tuck away under Fight Rigging. And then you play Reservoir Kraken on turn 4. Fight Rigging puts a +1/+1 counter on Reservoir Kraken. It becomes a 7/7 and immediately triggers Fight Rigging. So this is a free cast on turn 4 in addition to a 7/7 Reservoir Kraken that you now have on the battlefield on turn 4. It's that simple. I also want to give a shout out to another card. If Simic isn't your jam and you don't want to play this in Simic and you'd rather go Golgari or some variant of that, Shakedown Heavy is also available. Or you can go Sultai and run them both. Shakedown Heavy is a 6-power 3-drop that does the exact same thing. It's because it has 6 power and it has some kind of downside. The moment it and Fight Rigging are on the field at the exact same time, you get to just free cast it. In the case of Shakedown Heavy, you can play Shakedown Heavy on turn 3, play out Fight Rigging on turn 4, pre-combat. At the beginning of combat, you put the counter on Shakedown Heavy. Your opponent now has a 7/5 or, a 7/5 that they have to deal with or give you cards. And you get to free cast whatever you want off of Fight Rigging. And the cool part about doing it that way is your opponent doesn't see it coming. If Reservoir Kraken is what you're teeing in, building up into, they will see the Fight Rigging coming. And the other thing about that is whenever you're playing with Fight Rigging, you need to be aware of, or any of the Hideaway cards, be aware of the other value it's providing. It's easy to look at the Hideaway spell and think this is the ultimate goal, but the truth is a +1/+1 counter on one of your things coming from an enchantment every single turn is worth the price of admission already, because it buffing your 2-drop into a big monster or buffing a 3-drop into a big monster can help you win in combat a lot more readily and help you drive the game to a conclusion. So I gotta say, it's very impressive. I also had the privilege, huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for granting early access to a number of streamers. After a little bit of prodding, I was able to get my hands on an invite, and I was able to play with this combo, and I gotta say, it's the real thing. Fight Rigging, free casting a Titan of Industry on turn 4 is incredibly powerful. It feels great, if I may say. I know no other way to say it. It feels fantastic. So I think this is one of those combos. I think this is more of a janky brew kind of situation. I don't know if it's gonna make the rounds in a legitimate competitive deck, but at the same time it might. One of the things about this combo that makes it rough is you need to have some kind of big bomb in the deck. You need to have deck slots need to be awarded to whatever you want to pull off of Fight Rigging. Now, you could just have a lot of good 5 or 6 drops that you may be able to ramp into anyway. If you're in a Simic shell with the Fight Rigging and the Reservoir Kraken, you will probably have good ramp targets anyway. That's not uncommon in that kind of shell, and so it would fit nicely. Yeah, I think this combo is actually very, very powerful, and we're going to see a lot of it. So if you want to be free casting big, scary things on turn 4, Fight Rigging plus Reservoir Kraken, check it out at coming to a ladder near you, and I would love to see what you come up with. If you have any deck lists for decks that can take advantage of this combo, I'd love to see them. Please post them in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. And while you're there, if you wouldn't mind clicking subscribe and liking this video, it would mean the world. I'd really appreciate that. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.